All right. If you think about like having something that like if you think about having a cheap car versus having a car that you just don't, people would say you just don't really need, like buying a $150,000 car, like if money was nothing, well, would you buy a $150,000 car, or would you not take more than is necessary and just have the Toyota Echo? That's a really interesting question, because if you think about where that maybe comes from, what conditioning that maybe comes from, the first thing that came to mind for me is like, did that literally get ingrained, like not taking more than you need? Did that literally get ingrained from like tribal times? Where, I mean, yeah, tribal times in the sense of like, what comes to mind, I guess, is if you have a bowl of food that the tribe has foraged, you take as much as you need, and then when you're full, like you would never take more than your fair share. That would be unfair to the group. So if you think about like people, I mean myself, when I think, well, I don't really need I don't need an expensive car, but it's like I ask myself the question, if really money wasn't an object, is that a valid way to think? And it's like I don't really know, because also too, it's like the environmental thing where, well, if it costs more money to make the more expensive car that I don't really need anyways, it's not really going to improve my life. It's really not about it's not about that. It's not about like improving my quality of life. I really don't think that it would be minuscule. If they both have cruise control and they both drive and they're both reliable, in fact, the Toyota or whatever would be more reliable. Doesn't make a difference in that sense. But would it make a difference in the sense of I don't know. Weird question. I don't know. What are your thoughts? If money was no object, if you had millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, is that where, would you buy a nice car like that, or would you just buy? It's a really interesting question, because if you think about just being there for the group or whatever, well, if you had a lot of money, then you would just give it all away, essentially. You would meet your needs and then give away the rest and just contribute to other people's lives. So it's like, it's a pretty tricky question, it's like, it's really kind of like a deep moral question. And the reason that I think that is because like, I'm like, well, what if I were ever wealthy? Like, what would that look like? Would I have things that right now I think that I don't need? Like, right now I'm very confident about my decision to not have more than I need. Like, when I think about a really, really good vehicle, I think about like a 4-cylinder economy car that's affordable to maintain, like just all around, it checks a lot of boxes. And I'm curious if that would change, because I've had money before, but for the wrong reasons. And I was I guess not for the wrong reasons, but I wasn't happy, and then I had money. And it made me think that if I bought these things, it would change my state. So if you're in that place where you have money and you're in just your normal state, would that change your opinion on what you think you need? Should it? Does it matter? I have no idea, right? Interesting question. I think I personally would have an economy car. It's weird, because there's so many things that come into play. If you get a really, really expensive car and it's like uber safe, versus you get an economy car, let's say you're getting it, but then it's like, well, I don't know, then you're putting yourself into a kind of a weird energy place there, as far as like thinking from a place of negative energy versus like a place of positive energy. I don't know if you want to be doing that, right? I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me know if you guys have any opinions on that. Ciao.